All right, so we have got on the phone our General Manager of TVJ, Mrs. Claire Grant. If you are just joining us, or if you would have been with us at about 6:30, you would have heard us breaking news. Daily actually had to read the story of the passing of Michael Sharpe this morning, our colleague, many of us a friend. It's just a time of significant loss. Mrs. Grant joins us now online to talk to us about it. Mrs. Grant, you tell me you've had your cry. I tell you there are more tears to come. Tell me how you're feeling this morning.
Morning, boss.
As our colleague
Morning, everybody.
has passed. We know he's been ailing for a while.
Yes, I mean, we would have known when he first got ill and went into the hospital, and certainly, I mean, we have been tracking and really paying attention. Certainly, from my perspective, we do a managers meeting for broadcast services, which is radio and TV, every Monday at 1. And Michael would start that meeting. You know, we're on Teams, and you would be sure because he would be the first one who's there. And when we were late, including me, he'd be like, you know, we're supposed to start on time, team. You know, 1 o'clock is 1 o'clock. He was really reliable. You know, I'm junior to him in the business, and would have learned just a lot about the technical rightness of how the industry is supposed to operate, because he was a stickler for that. And I keep looking around, and there's so many people in our newsroom, in our business, that are directly in the business because of him. You know, he would mentor, and even now, there are younger ones in the newsroom, Herman, Shane, producers, right throughout the organization that have been mentored by him.
Yeah, I just saw Dion tweeting that he gave her start. He recommended that she be given her start as a young journalist. So he's had a hand in so many of the folks who you know here on television and on radio. And his love for this business was just unparalleled.
Yes. And he's responsible for the Jamaica News Network, and I really want to say something to that team, because very close-knit team. They really respond to him as a leader in that unit, and I know that they will be hurting my Jamaican News Network family. But generally, you know, a lot of times when people have younger brands working within a group, it's very easy for you to think, well, I'm not on the big brand. But as far as JNN was concerned, that team understood that they were going to be a part of a legacy. And there's so many of them who have moved over to television Jamaica. You have producers in the space now that you're working with that come from that place, because he knew how to teach, how to mentor, and how to recognize talent. The most enduring memories that I have of him are two critical things. When I first became general manager, he was the very first person to come into my office. The office was new to me, and he came in. And he said, congrats. He had also applied for the position, and he said to me, you know, more than anything else, it was important to him that the position went to someone who was working with the company, because he felt it was important that people understood that talent that could move to a position such as general manager for Television Jamaica, that it could happen and growth could happen from within. I never forgot that.
Yeah.
He told me that the support was there, but that to him was so important. And right throughout my tenure, up to September, he has stepped in a way that is, a lot of people don't know, but we had the election broadcast, and you know, things you're planning and things are not necessarily going as you would want them to go. And I said to him, I need you to stand by. And he stepped in, and everything happened like clockwork. I'm really, really, really going to miss him. I know the team is going to miss him, and Jamaica has lost an icon.
Yeah. I wanted to go even further back, boss, because Michael, I don't think in my almost 30 years of media, I've met someone who is as innovative as Michael. Michael has the capacity. It doesn't matter where you put him. He was on radio. He had like the night shift. And Michael created a family of persons that would call in wherever there were concerns. He would address it. You'd remember when he moved to television, he had these programs where he would go around to communities.
Your Issues Live.
Your Issues Live. And so one of the things that is always at the core of Michael is the Jamaican people. Finding the problems, giving them a space to articulate the problem. News at 10, when News at 10 just started, Michael was at the forefront of News at 10. As when I was head of sports, he was doing news. You couldn't tell that we were two different bosses because he was always trying to assist in every way. He would present news, I'd present sports. Michael is truly. Truly.
A lot of people don't know how much work he will do in the background as producer. So, for example, I think last year, as we were doing a lot of reruns, there was a particular show that we carried with Emily doing the interview with Ninja Man.
Right.
That was Michael's product as well. And that entire show, as the producer, he anchored everything that would have happened within it. And he was, I like to think of him as your quarterback, you know, your critical point man who, when you need something to happen, he's gonna make it happen, you know. And he really, when I first entered the industry of media, I remember a senior journalist at the time, it would have been Carl Wynn, saying, you know, this thing gets in your blood, and when it gets in your blood, you become it. And Michael represented that, you know. Media was in his blood, and he did it with a certain amount of, it was important to him to get it right. If he didn't get it right, he wanted to get it right, and he transmitted that to the teams that he worked with. He's really, really, really going to be missed.
Yeah, so much more to say. So much more to say about Michael Sharpe. Extraordinary journalist, great father, true friend.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, boss.
Thank you. Keep strong, team.
Here's the second edition of News in 5.